Your manifestation practice is worthless if you can't focus for more than 67 seconds. And if you're like most people, you can't. That's the brutal truth that I discovered after years of inconsistent results, despite following all the right rules of manifestation. Now, while the spiritual community keeps selling you more courses, more coaching, more techniques, more rituals, more practices, they are completely ignoring the most important foundation. Your attention equals your manifestation power. Manifestation requires your sustained attention. And our digital lifestyle, mobile phone, laptop, destroys our focus completely, destroys that capacity. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says, where your attention goes, energy flows. One of his signature quotes, right? And this is the most single important factor in whether your intentions materialize or remain fantasies. And so I'm about to challenge everything you think you know about why your manifestations aren't working. It's not your visualization skills. It's not your emotional state. It's not even about your worthiness. It's your shitty attention span. And until we can fix that, because I experienced it myself. Trust me, I was the king of distraction. Until we fix that, all the manifestation techniques in the world won't help us. And I don't want you wasting your time, like I wasted my time for 3 years. It's not about thinking more positive thoughts, but it's about rebuilding your brain's fundamental capacity for the one thing that makes manifestation possible in the first place: your attention. All right, I'm excited for this one. Now, before we begin, this information in my channel is more than enough for you to apply this and get real results. But if you are serious about manifestation and want to master the process without the complexity, so you can achieve more while doing less, check out the resources down below in the description. If you want to work with me personally, then book in an alignment session and I would be happy to customize and personalize this process for you. But let me take you back 3 years ago. I was that guy, reading every manifestation book, bought every course. I could recite to you and quote Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, Dr. Joe. Yet nothing was happening. Or more accurately, things were happening for everyone else, but not me. I would watch manifestation gurus on YouTube talking about how they manifested a parking spot, free coffee, and I'm thinking, that's cute, but I want to actually manifest real life changes. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're not trying to manifest a damn feather. You want the promotion. You want the relationship, the business, the job, the financial freedom, the house, the trip, whatever it is for you. And my world 3 years ago looked something like: wake up, check my phone, scroll Instagram, and watch someone else, see someone else on Instagram living my dream life. I would open my email, get distracted, try to do a meditation. But during the meditation, I'm creating a to-do list on what I need to do instead. If that's you too, it looks like we are living in a state of perpetual distraction. Yeah? Where we can't even focus on one thing that we want to do. From one dopamine hit to the next, always multitasking. I was the king of distraction, right? I remember watching a YouTube video one night and a thought came to me. You can't even watch a YouTube video without checking your phone. How the hell do you expect to master manifestation? Oh, wow. Wow. Slapped me right in the face while I was swiping on Tinder. Jokes. But then one day, I was listening to Dr. Joe, one of his podcasts. Well, half listening, because, I'm looking at my phone while I'm listening through. I'm scrolling through Instagram, because I might miss something, right? But he said something, and it slapped me in the face and had me stop scrolling and give him my full attention. He was talking about this concept called attention density, and how the quality and duration of your focus literally changes your brain's neural pathways. Oh, here it is. Dr. Joe's research. Left side is a scattered brain, right side is focused brain. That's not literal, but it's just for this description, okay? Because your brain's neural pathways create your reality. He said, most people can't focus on one single thing for more than 67 seconds. I wonder why. Until their mind wanders, they can't focus. I paused the podcast. 67 seconds. That's it. Now, I couldn't even make it through the podcast without checking my phone at least 50 times. And Joe went on to explain that transformation isn't just having the right thoughts, but it's about sustaining those thoughts long enough to create new neural networks in your brain. Because where attention goes, energy flows. And my energy was flowing in 1,000 different directions. Phone, laptop, Netflix, multitask. You know what I mean? Extrapolate this to even when you're just driving. Now this lit me up. What if the missing piece wasn't another technique or ritual? What if it was simply because I didn't know how to focus my attention? Think about it. If you can't even focus, then you are training your mind to wander and be distracted, especially in meditation. So that was it. Mark Zuckerberg, I have beef with him now, right? But let's be real. Who wants to hear that the problem is their shitty focus, right? Who wants to hear that? It's like telling someone the reason they're not rich is because they spend too much time on TikTok. Oh, that's uncomfortable. That's personal. And it means I had to take responsibility. Obviously, the old self, I keep talking about the old self. It had something to say. Nah, that can't be it. My manifestations aren't working because I haven't found the right technique. Or maybe, nah, it's because you're not worthy enough. Oh, nah, it's maybe because Mercury is in retrograde. Oh, God. And it kept wanting me to look at external solutions because facing the internal problem meant confronting something that was terrifying. Because in our digital age, sustained attention has become a superpower that most of us don't possess. And the thought of disconnecting from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, scary. What would I do with all that silence? Oh my God, all that presence. Oh, shit. But Joe's words, you don't say that. I did not say that, but unconsciously it felt uncomfortable. But Joe's words, his damn words kept haunting me. So I bought his progressive course. And this time I was determined to actually pay attention without checking my phone. During the course, Joe explained the neuroscience behind attention, but in a way that finally clicked. He said, your personality creates your reality. And your personality is a set of thoughts, actions, emotions, behaviors that we've memorized. To change our reality, we have to break the habit of being ourselves. And he shows scans of people during meditation versus people with scattered attention, high beta brainwaves. It looks beautiful, but it's supposed to be ugly. Focused brainwaves have like slow, beautiful, coherent lines, right? Organized patterns. The scattered brain looked like it was shit. That was just a lot of jaggedy edges, but it actually looks nice. It looks nice, but disregard that. Okay, scattered brain is incoherent brainwave patterns. Focused brain is beautiful, coherent patterns. But then he said, pointing to the focused brain, if this is the state in which manifestation not just becomes possible, but inevitable. Then he dropped the bomb. He dropped the bomb that changed everything for me. Most people's creations don't work because they are trying to create a new future while their attention is stuck in past patterns. They are essentially trying to go north while facing south. That hit me hard. I was trying to manifest abundance while my attention was constantly focused on lack. Okay? I was focused on lack. I was trying to manifest my health while fixed on my symptoms. My back hurts, right? But I want to manifest a healthy body. I was trying to manifest relationships, but my attention was focused on being lonely. Who's going to want you? Then Joe became my mentor, teaching me that attention isn't just about focus, but where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and where you place your consciousness. Your attention is consciousness. And most of us have never been taught how to direct our attention with intention. So with this information, I knew what I had to do. I had to train my attention like a muscle. And we all know if you haven't worked out in a while, it's going to be uncomfortable at first. But I decided to start with a 21-day digital detox. Who wants to do that? A digital detox, not a complete disconnection, but I still had to work, but I had to cut back a huge step. No social media, no Telegram to read conspiracy theories, no Netflix, no YouTube rabbit holes, phone in airplane mode for designated periods of time. Now the first 3 days, oh my God, they were hell. They were hell. I mean, actual withdrawal symptoms. I was irritated, anxious, bored, kept reaching for my phone like a phantom limb, like, oh, maybe there's a little notification there. I'd catch myself staring at my laptop screen, not doing anything, just staring. How sad is that, huh? But day 5, something shifted. I started noticing things. I started noticing small things, like the taste of my food, the feeling of the breeze, the actual words people were saying to me. Instead of half listening, half thinking about my response, I was present. I was so present. And then came the big test. Could I actually focus on one intention, one single thought for more than 67 seconds? Sat down. Before meditation, I closed my eyes, set a timer. I chose a simple intention. I'm the master of my attention and focus. Yeah, why not? Why not? Got to create it into quantum. 30 seconds. Oh, so far so good. 45 seconds. My nose itches. 50 seconds. Oh my God, did you see that girl's booty at the gym? 55 seconds. Can't focus. Seriously. 60 seconds. It's actually harder than I thought. 65 seconds. Almost there. 67. Beep. I made it. But just barely. And I had so many distractions. And I thought this is going to be so much harder than I thought. But over the next few weeks, I developed something to train my attention. Started with 1-minute sessions by focusing on just one intention. Then gradually increased to 3 minutes. Then 5, then 10. Then a full Joe meditation. But I discovered some allies in this journey. Nature, first of all. Nothing trains attention like watching a sunset without taking a photo of it. Come on. Meditation, but the kind where you actually focus, not just sit there, planning dinner, doing a to-do list, and reading. Reading requires your full attention. But I also made some enemies. You know what I mean? Notifications, each one stealing a piece of my intention. Yep. Which is an actual thing, because doing multiple things poorly is what multitasking is. My own impatience, wanting results without putting in the work, those were my enemies. The biggest test came when I tried to apply this focused attention to actual manifestation. Could I hold a clear intention, one intention, not just for 67 seconds, but for several minutes at a time, with enough emotional intensity to actually change my neural pathways? Emotional intensity is heart coherence. Brain coherence is intention. Okay? And then the quantum field response. And I developed what I call the attention density training. It works like this. Choose one specific intention that you want in your life. Right? You want relationship, you want a house, you want money, whatever. Start with a 3-minute timer and build it up. All you have to do is close your eyes and focus only in that intention that you want. When your mind wanders, and it will, Focus back on your breath. Get into neutrality. Bring it back to the emotional intensity, as if and feel as if it is already happening. Bring it back to your heart. Repeat daily, extend the time, and your attention muscle will strengthen. I promise you. It's that simple, guys. I don't teach complexity here. The first week, though, was humbling. My mind was like a cat, doing zoomies, but slowly something started to change. I could hold it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's where it gets interesting. Because around day 14, I noticed something strange happening in my life. Small synchronicities, little coincidences related to my intention. It was starting to happen. It was as if reality was starting to respond to my newly focused attention. Quantum field response. By the third week, I was ready to go deeper. I had built up a 15-minute session of unbroken attention on a single intention. And this is that's when Dr. Joe's teachings really started to make sense. Brain and heart coherence. Oof. I was living it. I didn't just know about it, I was it. I was the information. He talks about how sustained being in the generous present moment creates coherence in your brain and your heart, and a state where neural activity becomes organized and powerful rather than chaotic and weak. The coherence then extends to your heart, creating heart coherence. And that is when brain and heart coherence mixes in. It's a constant feedback of your brain and heart. And coherence is what allows you to broadcast a clear signal to the quantum field of all possibilities. And then it emerges from physical reality because your heart draws it to you. I was approaching the subconscious mind, the place where the real transformation happens. But to enter the subconscious, I had to face my biggest fear. The fear of truly being present with myself without any distractions. Yep. For extended periods of time. I want to be honest with you, because let's be honest, many of us use our phones to avoid being alone with our thoughts, our feelings, or actual lives. We are afraid of the silence because in that silence, we might have to confront who we really are versus who we pretend to be. And the challenge came when I did a 3-day silent retreat that I did in my own home. Just me, my home, no phone, no internet, no speaking, nothing but with myself, just sitting with myself. Let me tell you, day 1 was torture. My mind screamed for simulation. Give me my phone. I was walking back and forth, panicking. I was cleaning for long periods of time. I even organized my sock drawer twice. But day 2, emotions came pouring out. Without distractions, all the feelings that I've been avoiding came rushing into the surface. Yep, grief. It has to detox. I'm sorry, it has to. I cried. I cried most in that day for the whole year. But then day 3 brought clarity. Like a storm passing into stillness, my mind quieted. And in that quiet, I could finally hear the voice of my true self. Not the reactive, distractive me I'd been living as. But on the evening of the 3rd day, I sat down for what would be the most powerful manifestation session of my life. Focused on my core intention to create a life of freedom, impact, abundance through my authentic gifts. But this time, something was different. There was no effort. There was no straining. No trying to convince myself that, is this possible? There was just pure, sustained attention, infused with the emotion of gratitude, as if it had already happened. I lost track of time. Completely lost track of time. When I finally opened my eyes, 3 hours had passed. 3 hours. 3 hours of unbroken attention. And I was 3 hours of broadcasting a clear, coherent signal into the universe. And I knew with absolute certainty that something had fundamentally changed. The quantum field responded. That is a big signal in the quantum field. Then the floodgates opened. Within 2 weeks, I received an unexpected opportunity with a business coach who wanted to help me with my business. Listen to this. For free. For free. He has been helping me grow my YouTube channel ever since I started. Now, I paid for his programs before, but why the heck is he reaching out to me to offer help for free when he had already paid offers? A month later, my business doubled in revenue. But the rewards, as wonderful as they were, was nothing compared to the internal transformation that I had received. I had developed what I consider a superpower. In the age of distraction, I had the ability to sustain my attention at will. And I've also been told by my clients, loved ones, and friends that I am great at holding space. And in order to do that, you need to be fully present. You need to get rid of all these distractions. So this power changed everything. My conversations became deeper. My work became more impactful. My decisions became more clearer. And my manifestations became not just occasional happy accidents, but consistent creations. I realized that attention isn't just a mental faculty. It's creative energy. It is creative energy. When scattered, the energy produces scattered results. When focused, it becomes a laser that can cut through the illusion of impossibility. And as Joe says, where attention goes, energy flows. But I want to add to that, where energy flows, your life grows. Now, of course, returning to normal life after this wasn't easy. My phone was still there with all its temptations and distractions. I had to find a way to live in this world without, losing my power of my power of my attention, because it was my manifestation power. So I had to explain to friends and family why I wasn't as available as before, why I might take hours to respond to a text or return a call, why I might not see their social media posts, that this wasn't always easy in a world that expects instant replies, right? Even with clients. Oh, that was the hardest part. But the results spoke for themselves. People started noticing a change in me. You seem more present. They'd say, "Oh, how are you making things happen so quickly?" But the final test came about 6 months into my journey. I got sick, real sick, with an infection that left me in bed for weeks. And in my weak state, the old self, that cheeky old self, took an opportunity to try to fuck me up. Doom scrolling, Netflix binging, distraction after distraction. Guess what happened? All my manifestations stalled. Synchronicity stopped. The flow of opportunities stopped flowing. It was the most powerful confirmation of Joe's teaching that I could have ever received. Thank you to my old self, for real. When I recovered, I had to go through the process of resurrection, reclaiming the power of my attention from the old self that had temporarily taken over. Okay, I'm going to admit that sometimes the old self does take over. But this time, the process was faster. My attention muscles remained. They were temporarily weakened, but it remembers its training. Now, within a week, I was back in my practice, back into coherence, back into a clear intention and an elevated emotion. And once again, reality responded. The opportunities returned, the synchronicities resumed, the manifestations reactivated. But in this resurrection, it taught me something crucial. That attention training isn't a one-time achievement, but it's an ongoing practice in a world that is designed to capture your attention, our focus. And so maintaining that power of sustained attention requires daily commitment. Or if you don't, the world is going to capture your attention, and it might not be in the attention that you like. And this simple, profound truth transformed my life. Your manifestation power is directly proportional to how well you can sustain and focus your attention. It's not another technique to add to your toolkit. It's the foundation that makes all other techniques effective. Without it, you're basically screwed. You can argue with me on that one, because you'll be chasing one shiny object to another, or you won't even complete what you set out to create. So here's my challenge for you. Start training your attention today. Begin with just 3 minutes of unbroken, focused attention on a single intention. And notice how your body responds to it. Notice how your mind wants to wander. Right? You just got to persistently and gently keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back. Keep bringing it back into the beautiful present moment. Do this daily, and gradually over time, use a timer. And be honest with yourself about when your mind wanders. This isn't about perfection. It's about practice. I promise you, within 21 days, you'll begin to notice changes, not just in your manifestation results, but in every area of your life. Your conversations will deepen. Your work will improve. You will decide with clarity, with so much more clarity. And most importantly, you will start to experience what Joe calls the gap. The space between stimulus and response, where your true creative power lives. And so remember, where attention flows, where your attention goes, energy flows. And so your attention is your superpower. Guard it, train it, direct it, and watch as your desires transform from wishful thinking into lived reality.